Hey Dad, today I want to talk about the Sixth Amendment, the part of the Constitution that promises every person, citizen or not, a fair process when the government accuses them of something. It's the amendment that says you get a lawyer, you get to know the charges, you get to see the evidence, and you get a trial that doesn't drag on forever. The founders understood something deeply. An accusation is one of the most powerful weapons a government can use. So they built safeguards to make sure the government couldn't wield that power in secret. But right now, across the United States, during large-scale ICE enforcement operations, we're seeing those safeguards bend and sometimes break. Dad, one thing people often forget or don't know at all is that the Bill of Rights protects every person on U.S. soil, not just citizens. That includes lawful residents, undocumented immigrants, asylum seekers, visa holders, mixed status families, and importantly, U.S. citizens caught up in raids or misidentifications. ICE has accidentally detained U.S. citizens dozens of times over the years, sometimes for days, weeks, or even months. And when those things happen, the Sixth Amendment is supposed to be the lifeline. But lately, that lifeline hasn't been very reachable. Dad, this isn't about one state or one operation. It's a pattern showing up in reporting from across the country. People describe the same issues, no matter where it happens. One, people being detained without being told why. ICE officers make an arrest and say something like, "Come with me," or "You need to answer some questions," without explaining the legal basis or alleged violation. Even worse, we're seeing increasingly they're breaking car windows, yanking people out of their vehicles, grabbing people off the street. No warrant, no explanation. That violates the Sixth Amendment right to be informed of the charges. 2, people are being transferred before a lawyer can find them. This is happening in multiple regions. People move from county jails to ICE facilities to private detention centers, and sometimes out of state altogether, or even out of country, before a public defender or immigration attorney can even locate them. A right to counsel isn't meaningful if the government can move you faster than your lawyer can track you. 3, people pressured to sign documents without counsel. In reports from across the U.S., detainees say they were told to sign voluntary departure papers, sign away appeal rights, or sign statements they didn't understand, often without a lawyer present or with misleading claims like, "This paper will help your case." That is the polar opposite of what the Sixth Amendment intended. 4, people missing hearings because ICE didn't transport them. Advocates in several states have raised alarms about individuals missing their own hearings because ICE didn't deliver them to court or transfer them without notice. When you can't attend your hearing, it's not due process, it's process without you. 5, U.S. citizens swept up and sometimes held due to mistakes. This has happened all across the country, sometimes because of database errors, sometimes mistaken identity, sometimes bureaucratic confusion. Citizens held without clear charges, citizens transported to detention centers, citizens pressured to sign forms about their immigration status, and none of that should be possible if the Sixth Amendment were functioning the way the founders intended. Dad, here's why this worries me. The Sixth Amendment is not about outcomes. It's not about whether someone ultimately wins or loses a case. It's about process, the guarantee that the government does not get to accuse someone from behind a curtain. But when ICE detains someone without explaining the charges or transfers them before an attorney can intervene or pressures them into signing things they don't understand or isolates them so thoroughly that calling a lawyer becomes nearly impossible, then the right to counsel becomes a slogan instead of a reality. And Dad, this isn't about whether someone deserves to be detained or should have followed the law. The Constitution doesn't work that way. Because even if someone did break the law, the government still has to prove it publicly, fairly, and with the defendant fully informed and fully represented. That's the difference between a constitutional republic and a government that rules by accusation. So here's my question for you. If the Sixth Amendment promises the right to counsel, the right to know the charges, and the right to a fair process, what does it mean when people, including U.S. citizens, can be detained, transferred, or pressured faster than their rights can follow them? That's what I'm trying to understand. And honestly, It's what I wish more people were paying attention to.